do. My name's Morgan, Joseph Morgan, from the bespoke tailoring company, Chittleborough Morgan. As a company, we try very hard for, can I say perfection? I don't know, yeah, possibly, because that's what we try for. We're trying to get the excellence of bespoke tailoring as high as it can and compete with France and Italy and the rest of the world. I left school very early, at 15, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but my dad knew somebody, someone that worked for Kilgal, and took me along to see this fellow, this tailor, and he said, at the moment, we don't need anybody, but I do know somebody that does. So I started a tailoring jacket apprenticeship and loved it. One of the companies that the tailor worked for said that they needed a cutter. So I went to train as an assistant cutter with Dennis Wilkinson. So I made clothes for Harold Macmillan and all the other MPs of the time. They made for the Kennedys. So it was just from being in a workshop environment to being introduced to all these gentlemen was a big change. After that, I worked for Jarvis and Hampton. Great experience. From the boy from the East End, meeting all these very distinguished aristocrats was remarkable. Somebody said, oh, why don't you go and speak to Tommy Nutter, because they're looking for an assistant cutter and they're very progressive and the world's changing. So I went from wearing a stiff collar and a 2-inch lapel to Tommy and Edward, and at that stage they were creating 5-inch lapels and a whole different look to bespoke tailoring. They changed the world. They changed Savile Row for the better, which was very exciting. This is Roger Moore for Vogue magazine. We were working with Vogue. Charlie Watts, Mick Jagger, Mick Jagger again. This is from Tom, and he's ordered himself an outfit, which was going, and this is all his writing. This is all in my life, my lifetime. And Bianca again ordering things. Elton's ordered like 5 suits now. So it was a big thing. This is in those early 70s. Hey, long hair, which is great. And again, these fellows have got like wide shoulders and narrow lapels. I've got narrow shoulders and wide lapels. And this again was in the early 80s. Holland Sherry fabric, wide leg Oxford bags, short double-breasted jacket, no vents, and cracking shoulders. It's yeah, good times. Tommy Nutter, Edward Sexton revolutionised how men could express themselves within their clothes. Whereas before, you work in a bespoke company, the coat was finished, the suit was finished, you pop it on and that's it, so off you go. But with Tom and Edward, unless it read that this is our product and this is how we want you to look, they would alter it. You had like Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney, Diana Ross having these very different clothes to what everybody else was making. They gave men the ability to express themselves. And they were accepted on Savile Row primarily because they did the same quality of work as everybody else, but they stylized their model, which they're still doing today, and we are doing today. Mick Jagger here ordered a red gabardine suit, which we're making today. Do you want to see it? Not for him, but for another client, but I'll show you the gabardine suit. Made in England, pure new wool, and woven in Huddersfield, which is the premier space. Horsehair that goes inside there, like that. And this is padded to a very high degree to fulfill that sort of shape and give it presence. When one looks at the bespoke suit coming from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, Style plays a major part. We're competing with ready-to-wear, and ready-to-wear give you a product that is very hanger-friendly. It's good to look at. You look at the fabric and think, well, fabric's not quite so good. The make isn't quite so good, but it's instant. I can put it on and walk out the store, and it may not fit. It may not look that good, but the brand is, you know, what they're telling everybody is about. We don't do that. What we try and do is give a gentleman or lady a product that is handcrafted, that looks the best that we can make it look. We have a very straight shoulder line, very close, high armholes, a nice long line to the waist. We always cut a side body, which gives flair, very defined, has definition, and has a lot of presence. Well, welcome.
Hey, Joe.
Some time.
How are you doing? You okay?
Very well, thank you. Very come through.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
I miss this place. It's
Well, you know, it's like
It's been a while since I've been in here.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And we first started back in 2006, it was. Hey.
The first time I met Tony was when he was working for a company, and one of our clients asked him to make me a pair of bespoke shoes. Tony didn't have a lot of influence on it. I was given somebody else to look after me. The shoe was made for me, bespoke, sort of beautifully made, but the styling wasn't really what I wanted. And I knew what style was about, from clothes and the shoes that I was looking at. And I've never worn those shoes. So when we sort of developed with Tony and Dean, their essence of what we do, they do, and they stylize their shoes. And I was very comfortable with that. And they complemented our clothes, and hopefully our clothes complement their shoes. But they revolutionized the shoe world and the shoe model, and again, allowed men to express themselves through their shoes.
This is our old cabinet.
So this is really which was full of shoes, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was all of the ready-to-wear samples at the back, and then I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
there's actually a little table that lifts, and it comes out like a semicircle. And then we had all the bespoke models displayed around there with swatches in the middle. And then we had a desk here, I think, Joe, didn't we?
Yeah.
But what's nice about being situated in a tailor's is being able to put these materials next to certain cloths for colour matching. You know, because there's one thing that a lot of guys struggle with, that women have known for years, is how to correspond colours.
Even when you look at these, you know, actually to feel them and think, I want a pair of shoes in those. You know, you're given gentleman choice. You know, girls go out, they have these 5-inch heels, sexy shoes and everything else, and blokes turn up and they've got these, like, you know, I don't know what. And then, but now they can, you know, put their foot next to theirs and think, oh my goodness, 2 pair of sexy shoes. How good is that? When I was young, I had great clothes. And you look at shoes and you think, my goodness, you know, where do I go for shoes? In the early days, we were next door to Ballet, and Ballet produced this stylized sort of shoe, very light. And then when I took them shoes to the shoe menders to have them repaired, he said it was a plastic heel. You take off the rubber sole and it's a plastic heel. So this is what ready-to-wear give you. But in my introduction, or my sort of friendship with Tony and Dean, I've been made aware of what we do with our clothes, the craft. They produce their shoes in the same quality and to the same standard. This is something that we're working on, and this gentleman was big.
Yeah.
Now he's lost weight, so he's getting smaller. You know, it's a bright blue, but it's a good blue.
Yeah, yeah.
This is one of our ladies' models, which we're working on now. This is a black silk, which is 1970s.
Really?
Holland and Sherry.
Oh, wow. So you've dug this up out of the archives?
I found it at home and thought, oh my goodness, you know, what we're going to do with this? So you can wear this as a dinner.
Yeah. You're doing some patterns here?
Well, this is for a gentleman who, again, is altered in weight. So we're just taking this pattern and just reducing it. And so side body, all our jackets are cut with side bodies. You know, it's just here.
It gives it
the side body. Yeah, so
yeah.
what we can do, we can draw it in here and then flare it out here. So if we flare it out here, it looks more nipped in there. So it's an illusion, but, you know, it looks
I'm actually
looking.
quite surrounded.
Was all those marathons?
No,
My goodness.
I haven't done that.
Well,
for a few
but
years.
you did in the good days. But hey, there you go. It's like these gentlemen used to come see us in the early days with Tom from Paris and Rome. They used to say, "Oh, we want it close here, want it close here." Whereas English tailoring was, "Oh, give them chest." And you think, well,
it was very uniform based back in the day.
Yes, and it was just like ungracious and
It's
charming.
funny because I think the suiting world and the shoe world was very kind of military uniform based at the beginning.
Yes.
I think especially for British products, they've had to slowly pull away from that aggressive structure, and kind of soften it and make it, and fuse it as a garment as well as a suit. You know, so it's enjoyable to
very
kind of
interesting.
wear. And,
very interesting.
Shoes are the same, you know.
In tailoring, if you want to be the best, you have to work at it, and you have to provide a product that people want to be part of. Savile Row has a heritage that we want to move forward. To do that, it has to have excellence. And this is what we're driving very hard to create. We are training young people in tailoring, in bespoke tailoring, and giving them a future, which I think is really important. Everything is in-house, and this is the way we want to develop our sort of company and take it forward, making bespoke tailoring in London the best. You know, you draw on cheaper products from around the world, but it's a sacrifice of your own industry. And, you know, people look at the clothes that they've had made probably abroad and it doesn't last.
It doesn't last. You know, this is one reason why King Charles is so interested in Savile Row handmade British products, because it's actually very sustainable, because instead of lasting you 2 years, it could last you 30 years.
Yes,
if you know what I mean.
And, I think you may have known it we started at Nutters in '69. In 1970, we made some products, and we've gotten them back.
Yeah.
And the young people are wearing them now.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Wow, busy.
So you're going to notice some of these as your clients. I won't mention any names. That's a cashmere.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that's his lining in there.
Wow.
Which is pretty...
Yeah, impressive.
This is someone very special to you.
What, this person? Or?
And that's really what goes on inside the jacket. It's all controlled, all punchy, and and works. Emilia's just working on a new... We haven't made him trousers before, and he's got piping all the way on the top of the trousers, and a good solid fabric from Yorkshire. This is an ordinary grey, but we put this piping on from the around the pocket. Can you see that?
Right.
And a different cloth.
Right, yeah.
So that goes back to the Tom days. So it's just a little bit different.
How much work goes in there? A lot of tailors wouldn't put that kind of work in there, would they?
No. Well, so that's it. They don't. We do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The same with you.
I mean, most people that come around our factory and look at the bespoke are just blown away.
Yes.
By the amount of detail like this that you have to go into to.
And it's everyday work. You're not making it as an exhibition piece. This is what goes into every product, doesn't it? Every single product.
Definitely. Yeah. You have to
which
have
is
that
rewarding.
discipline.
Savile Row, do we have a future? Yes, we do. You know, we have young people that are embracing the culture of what we did in the past and taking it to the next level. I think Savile Row will be here for a long, long time, providing a service and a professional service for gentlemen and ladies that we can make clothes for.
It's been 10 years, since we left here.
Well, hey, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Me and Dean had a chat, and we thought it was probably about time that we actually made you a pair of shoes. We've launched a new shoe, and we've named it after you.
My goodness.
Out of respect
for
what you've done for us over the years. So
that's very gracious. Right. And how good is this? A great presentation. How good is that? That's so elegant, isn't it?
It's a very classic design. It's supposed to look like the top part, when the leg trousers on it, like a spat.
Right.
Remember, you used to wear the spats over the shoes and buckle them underneath?
Yeah.
So it's supposed to kind of give that effect without the hassle of having to put all that on. And we've had this as a bespoke sample since we launched the company, but we thought we'd put it in as a made-to-order model or a ready-to-wear.
Well, look at that.
We've got your initials
How
on.
sweet is that? But that's so elegant, isn't it? Look at that. That's, you know, it's just a special shoe, isn't it?
It's a great shoe as well. It can be like very, very formal, like this, very dress shoe. But you will get a lot of people that would correspond this with like a nice antique calf and maybe with an alligator top.
Right.
You know, you can play with it and mix it up.
It's almost as if you don't want to wear them and you just want to look at them, isn't it? And you wake up in the morning and you've got this on a stand and you think, how good is that?
Well, we get that a lot from customers. You know, 12 months later, I say, how are the shoes fitting? How are they performing? They were like, I can only look at them. I can't wear them.
And For me, the energy that you and Dean sort of brought to your brand is what we try and do with ours.
Yeah.
And it's very important that craftsmanship, style and elegance is brought through into shoes and what we do with clothes. So I thank you. And I feel honoured, actually honoured to be presented with this sort of product. Because it's beyond anybody's expectations.
Well, your name will be in shoes forever and ever.
Yes. So my son will say, "Oh yeah, he's my dad's." You know, that's
what's your son's initials?
Oliver.
Oliver. Oh, we can change that to an O when the time comes.
No, he'll be fine with this. He'll be fine with this. But he has your shoes. He has some of your shoes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And in fact, he when he was living in Islington, he had this actor upstairs.